We had the pleasure of having our bright-spirited sister, Sister AnNura Muhammad, as a guest. She taught us that despite age, your ability to have security in Allah God comes from experience and the will to believe in Him no matter what. As Sister AnNura Muhammad stated, sometimes I don't know what I'm doing, but I keep going. Praise be to Allah. Give us your feedback and gain some insight by listening to one of our most light and genuine episodes.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Black Tea. Today we have a guest, Sister AnNura. She's an influencer, and you probably already know her. But she has such a beautiful spirit, so we're so excited to have her as a guest. She is an influencer. She is a student of God, student of life, and a student of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So the way that we like to start our episodes is with a book reflection. And also something that stuck out when going through or trying to think through who we wanted as a guest, we saw that Sister AnNura's favorite book is Naturally Beautiful. So before we get into that, or Sister Faith, is it okay if we start there?
Absolutely, yes, ma'am.
Okay. So Sister AnNura, being that it's your favorite book, and actually I noticed that on Brother Ben's post, he asked everybody what their favorite book was, and I seen your comment, and it was Naturally Beautiful. And particularly, you mentioned that this book gave depth and understanding of the nature of femininity, how Allah God views you individually as a Black woman, as well as an education on what it means to be a woman and your role as a Black Muslim woman. The book literally changed your life. So if you can elaborate on that, with any points that you recall from reading it, it doesn't have to be anything like verbatim, but just like more in depth of like why that's your favorite book and anything and how it's been an impact for you.
Wow, I forgot I even made that comment. But Naturally Beautiful. This book, um, dang. Well, I can say that when I was about 16 or 17, I was on a journey of, finding out more about myself, about my history, my ancestry, where I came from, all of that type of stuff. But I don't even remember how I came across this book. But I was starting to get into the Nation of Islam, the teachings, specifically Sister Ava Muhammad, because I never really see too many female speakers, and just the way that she spoke and the way she just spoke about the women was just like it attracted me, and um, I was probably going through my father's things, but I came across this book and I said, this looks interesting. Let me read it. And when I opened the book, um, I actually have Sister Ava's signature in here from 2014. My dad always dedicates books to us, even though, we're not really into the teachings at the time. I was like 14 or 15. But like just that alone is something that drew me in again. And I started reading it, and it just gave me a knowledge that I never got anywhere else. I grew up with a father in the Nation of Islam and a mother who was not, so I would never really got that second self of God, knowledge of self, femininity lessons, learning about Mother Maryam, Mary, the mother of Jesus. I never really learned about anything as far as the feminine side of the Nation of Islam, the feminine side of um, God, just the feminine expression, all of that. I just never got it. But so that's why reading this book kind of like changed everything, because again, I was on a journey to finding myself. I was on a journey to, trying to dress a little bit more feminine because my example was a masculine all the time. And so this book just helped tremendously. And it's just so beautiful. I've read it numerous times. Every time I forget about it, I'm like, oh, I'm going to read it again. And as you can see, I have notes in here, little pinpoints that I can go back to when I read it again. I can't tell you how many times I've read it, because every time I read it, it's like I'm reading it for the first time. And it's just beautiful. And it changed my life because of the newfound inspiration that is in it. Hope that answers the question.
Yes, ma'am. It definitely answers the question. When I seen your hand do this for Sister Ava, it reminded me of myself because I initially when I first came to the mosque, Brother Ishmael was speaking, and I was sitting there like, this feels like the truth, but I just don't know because I never heard about this all my life. Then the second time I came, Sister Ava spoke, and I was like, oh, I have to accept. So when you did that, it reminded me of like how I felt when Sister Ava was speaking. It was like, get up, get up. When I seen your hand go like this. Um, this wasn't a planned question, but when you just spoke on the masculine example, so from what I just heard from you, it sounds like you grew up by your father. And I also grew up with my father, like as the example. Like I would say my dad, not in any kind of homosexual way or anything, but my father was dad and mother. And what I mean by that, like he did my hair, I had to talk to him about girly things. So if I could just ask you, like, what was it like growing up with a father while now you're still trying to, or even then was trying to just still remain like and have this feminine posture and mindset about yourself, even though I know you still have to like read books as you just shared, but what was that like for you?
So you're mainly asking what was it like just having the father in the Nation of Islam?
No, I guess it sounded like you said, and you could correct me if I'm wrong. What I heard was that you had this masculine example. It's
Oh, I grew up with both of my parents,
okay.
but I forgot to mention my mother is a homosexual.
Mm-hmm.
So she dressed like a man a lot of the times.
Got it.
Well, not so like man, but she wore hoodies. She wore
Mm-hmm.
sweatpants, loose shirts, like a boy.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my example
Got it.
every single day growing up. So I always had, masculine, masculine, masculine. I didn't really know what it looks like. I didn't really know what femininity looked like in its true sense,
Mm-hmm.
until I saw these women in the Nation of Islam, and I've always been fascinated by them. Every time I go to the mosque with my dad, Savers days, I was always fascinated and in love with the garments and the headpieces, because I just thought like that is divine feminine. I don't know what it was about it. It's just so beautiful. And I've always wanted to be someone like that. I just didn't know how because I didn't have an example. So that's what I meant by
Got
masculine.
it. Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. But it's also beautiful too that we as women can wear loose clothes and still feel feminine. Like even I love wearing this demotis because it's like it's feminine, but it's like very casual and it makes me just feel comfortable. So I like that too about not always having to dress up. Sister Faith, did you want to ask a question pertaining to naturally beautiful or
I actually I wanted to ask a follow-up question to something that Sister AnNura said. That my mom, she is not, even still to this day, she's not a feminine woman. She dresses, like similar to what you said with your mom dressing that way, but it wasn't up until and before I registered, long before I registered, I would dress like a boy. I dress like a boy because I noticed that when I dress more feminine, what I thought to be feminine, tight clothes or whatever, then I would get unwanted attention. It was just like, dude, chill. And I didn't like that. So I would dress, in bulky clothes and things like that. But I always admired women who were able to dress in a different way, but still look modest. So my question for you is, how did, like, what transpired in your life? Because you said around 16 or 17, that's when you started going on a journey to finding yourself. So was there anything that happened in particular that made you want to go down that journey of finding yourself?
I don't know. Gosh, that was so long ago. I know that I was like my junior, it was like the end of my junior year of high school. I think, I don't know, it was something I guess you go through when you're an adolescent. You just want to learn more about yourself. Around this time, I was asking my grandmother questions about her grandmother, stuff that she probably grew up going through. And I was asking my mom how her mom was, just trying to find out as much as I could about my ancestors so that I can better understand myself. But nothing, I don't think anything in particular was a reason why. Again, I still don't even know how I joined the nation. I just know that Allah brought me here. Um, I know that I was on social media, and I know that Brother Ben is what attracted me back to the teachings, because I'm like, oh, I remember this stuff, because I went through a period where my father, he just stopped forcing us to go to the mosque and stuff. So during my teenage years, I kind of forgot. I didn't forget. It was just like it wasn't, in the forefront of my mind, the Nation of Islam, all of that type of stuff. Like I kind of low key forgot about it. But seeing him on social media kind of clicked something in my brain. I just wanted to learn, 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 learn. And that's how I got introduced to the MGT and GCC, Ava Muhammad. I actually didn't know anything about the nation really until I started learning myself. So yeah, I don't think anything clicked. It's just, well, yeah, that me seeing Brother Ben is what clicked everything for me to learn everything. So I guess that can be a starting point. I don't know.
I think that's beautiful that your dad stopped forcing you to go to the mosque, because then you made the decision on your own, rather than like it's weighing on your subconscious, like I'm supposed to do this because this is what my dad want me to do. So I think that's actually like smart for a parent to do. Um, Sister Faith, is there anything else that you want to ask?
No, ma'am.
You want to move on to the next portion?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So for our next segment, it's called Courting a Law God. And basically, the whole point of this segment, we get so focused on like entering courtship so we can get married, meet our spouse, and all of that. But it's like we are on a constant journey of courting a lot, getting to know who a lot God is, which also helps us to know who we are as women and what we should be doing in our own lives. So, speaking particularly to you, Sister Nur, with you, like from what it looks like to me, that you're like really tapping into your gifts. And so the question that I have for you for courting Allah is, how have you trusted Allah and believing that the gifts He's given you are enough for you to do for self?
Dang, that's a good question. Oh, gee. Um, I have so many. Just the fact that everything has been, the fact that I am where I am now is kind of like the ultimate, um, what's the word? The ultimate display of like faith, because I don't know, it's just been working. Um, I just had to learn that um I'm not always going to have all of the answers, and that not everything is going to make sense, because like 90% of everything that happens don't make sense at all, but it just happens because I am willing to stay the course, and I just make Allah sufficient. He is the one thing in the forefront of my mind. With everything that I do, um, how else can I answer that question? Can you repeat the question? I think I need to let it marinate.
Yeah, I can repeat it. And I also just want to point out something that I just recognized when you were answering the question. How have you trusted Allah and believing that the gifts He's given you are enough for you to do for self? Um, when you were answering the question, I was looking at you, and it's like when you said you don't know, it to me it wasn't like you don't know. To me, it was more so like you just let go. Like you just literally just do.
That's probably what it is, honestly.
That's what I feel like when you were talking. Like, I don't know. It's just like you. To
It's
me,
crazy.
it looks like you would really accept your own and be yourself. Like you just like on social media, you just be yourself.
I agree.
And it don't matter what people say or think, you just be yourself. And then in that, it's like a lie showing up. Like you're making room for a lie because you're just being yourself. You're not trying to be anyone else. You're not trying to please anyone. You even say sometimes in your own description of the post like I look silly, or you cringe at watching this old video but you repost it, but it's like
Wow.
you just being yourself. And well, I feel like when I'm in those moments, I don't post it on social media. I used to, but when I used to do that, I felt like just open. So I don't know. I just feel like I just learned from watching you, and it's just beautiful. But um, now that you had a little bit more time to think about it, what what would you say?
I'd say praise be to Allah. I feel like you done took all the words from out of my brain. It's just I just couldn't process it all because it still don't make sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
I have time. I'll be like, I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm just doing it, and it's working, and I'm just being patient with myself and just understanding that I am just a vessel, and I just try to be just remain clear and not to get big headed over everything that be happening because it's not me. I just had to learn that just me being me is Allah's way of speaking to so many other people. And I never really understood that because I always thought that I was weird because, outside forces. Um, and I always thought that I was weird or I'm just talk too much or I just have a very vivid imagination and I just always doing these different things. But really, that's Allah's expression through me. The way that I am is how He's going to reach so many people. I don't like people that are similar to me. Maybe someone who maybe have gone through anxiety, social anxiety, people who have gone through low self-esteem, low confidence, um, everything that I've overcome. I just think that I'm just a living testimony and He's just using me. And in order for Him to use me, I just let Him use me just by me doing whatever, doing what comes to mind. And if it feel right, I'm gonna just do it. Like if I'm painting something, I haven't painted in a while. I plan on getting back to it once I'm all settled. But that's kind of what I miss because I just let Him work through me and I just create, and it's just like a release for me. But it's really just me, like you said, accepting my own and being myself. So I don't know. That's a really complicated question to answer, but I think Allah put the words in your mouth because I didn't know. I
No,
really.
you just answered it, and I think it's just beautiful. Sister Faith, you have anything to add for that?
No, I just really like that you said sometimes I don't know what I'm doing, but I just keep doing it. And it's Allah's way of speaking through you to so many other people. That was really I love that, sis. You go ahead, girl. You go, sister.
All praise is due to Allah. I'm just trying to figure it out.
And
Oh, honesty.
I know you're saying like you just try to figure it out, or like sometimes you don't know what you're doing. But at this point, do you still have moments of self-doubt? Even though like you're still like in this space of really just being yourself and sharing it with the world?
Actually, no. I can say that I don't have doubt as far as being um like going without, like maybe missing out on a bill or something, not having the money or whatever it is that I need. I really like within these last couple of months, I really sat down and realized like, man, I ain't gonna never go without anything. Like I am 100% assured of that now. I wasn't so much beginning of last year, not even let's say like September, August. I wasn't sure. I was still a little hesitant. I was still a little scared. Like, dang, maybe this not gonna work out. Maybe I do need to go do something else with my life. I was still a little bit. It wasn't a lot, but it was a little. But as of like October, November, December, real more so December, I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna just, I've always, everything that I've overcome, it was proof to me that like I'm gonna be all right. No matter what it is that I'm doing, I will never go without. As long as I keep doing what I'm doing, impacting the people the way that I am, letting Allah use me, I'm gonna never go without. So I can say that I don't have any of those doubts anymore. Like I'm gonna be great. I'm gonna be straight. Like I'm 100% assured of that. And it's crazy because I never thought I'd be here, but here I am, man. I'm just grateful to be here, and I'm happy.
That's beautiful. Sister Faith, you look like you want to say something, or you just taking it in?
She is just blowing my mind because earlier before we joined, I asked her how old she was and her age. First of all, her age blew me away because I thought she was so much younger. But even with that, this like Sister Nora is just showing me that really your age doesn't determine your ability to have faith in Allah and your security in Allah. It's like either you're gonna have it or you're not. You're gonna try him or you're not. You're gonna just keep going or you're not. And you are teaching me so much, praise be to Allah, and now I'm just loving your responses. That's all.
All praises due to Allah.
So for our next segment is maintaining peace. And I really think the order really matters in how we do this. We try to feed on something from Allah's word with a book reflection and then focus on Allah and then maintaining peace. So particularly as we watch you on social media and you just like you're transparent in your own way, and recently you just shared everyone with everyone that you moved into your own place, so congratulations. um it's probably too soon to ask, but how does it feel and how will this contribute to you maintaining peace for yourself?
As far as emotions, I don't know. I feel like I haven't given myself time to enjoy any of it because I'm stressing over. I need a table. I need to get something together in here, or I gotta get that. I'm stressing over unnecessary things. But I feel like once I just like be like, I ain't gonna care no more. It's gonna happen when it's gonna happen. I think I'm gonna really start enjoying this space because again, I just feel like it's like I still got stuff so much to do and it hasn't sit in. But I'm tired of doing that. I'm starting to enjoy myself. I'm starting to relax at least because I know that I want to really start working and stuff next week. But as far as having my own space, I really wanted to get this so that I can better I actually wanted to change my brand a little bit more to where I am a complete reflection of the striving training units of the nation, of the MGT and GCC. Because, I'm the only one here. I'm the only one that can do the cooking, the cleaning. I really wanted to learn. I know how to sew, but I wanted to perfect my skills with the sewing because it's actually very therapeutic and I'm really good at it. It's just, I always claim I don't have the time, but sewing, in a way, how to rear your children. I know I don't have any children, but there's so many people who do, and I'm like the oldest of a lot of siblings, and there's a lot that I have been through that I can share to help other parents, and in the same way helping me because I can give my perspective. It's just so many ideas that I have now that I have my own space to do so. Um, I'm just looking forward to it. I have to write everything down because I will forget, but yeah, I'm excited. I'm looking forward to the new journey.
I'm looking forward to that content. Yeah, because we, not just you, I need to be on social media sharing, just about what it means to be MGT and all that. So praise be to Allah for you doing that. Sister Faith, anything else?
No, ma'am.
Okay, yes, ma'am. So Sister Faith, I'm gonna pass it on to you for our next segment for Come On Sis.
All right now. So my question for you, Sister AnNura, is what are some challenges that you faced with creating your own brand, and how did you overcome those challenges? And there's another part to this question, but I want to give you that much first.
Complications. I guess getting out of my own head and self-doubt, well, doubting some of the content. Um, you guys would be amazed at how many drafts, how many ideas I don't go push out because I feel like no one will relate to it, or it's just stupid, or um, it just doesn't make sense. I don't know, but that's what I deal with, and that's what my goal is for 2021 is to not overcomplicate my content. If I feel like I should say something in a moment, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna either record myself doing it or go on Instagram, whatever it is. Just letting Allah use me in the moment when He wants to use me, because I'm finding that people, um, it's either just like one person, people are like, oh, I needed this, thank you, or just something small, just being in the moment, enjoying life, and also sharing that. Um, so yeah, that's probably my complication, getting out of my own head and just doing what I want to do and not have all these other outside forces and inside forces trying to get me from out of doing what I want to do. You know.
Yes, ma'am. That's I can relate to that because that's one of my biggest challenges is getting out of my own head and just doing it like. So you are definitely an inspiration to me because I need to be present and I've been striving to live in the present. So for you to just go out, oh, I want to do this, I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. That is really inspiring, beloved. You go, sister. My next question is, has being a woman ceased or stopped any opportunities for you?
I can't say that it has. No, not for me. Well, I'm still really young, and um, I'm only just now starting to do things without my parents. You know, a lot of times I used to go with them to go places, do things. But no, I can't say that I have. I've been blessed to grow up in a positive type of environment as far as my mosque, my home. Yeah, can't say.
Yes, ma'am. Sister Destiny, did you want to add anything to that?
No, ma'am.
Okay, yes, ma'am. So this is our self-care. This is actually the last segment and the last question, unless we have any follow-up questions. But my question is, do you have things that you do on a regular basis for your self-care?
Yes. I either watch an episode of a TV show or it's usually movies. Um, for some reason, well, not for some reason, I've always loved movies. Grew up watching them with family. It's like something that I just always enjoyed doing. So for me, lately, it's been at least watching one movie before I go to bed because it gets me away from my phone, which I spend all day on. Gets me away from iPad, all of that type of stuff, and I just watch the movie and forget everything, all of my responsibilities and stuff, just for that hour and 30 minutes, and then I go to bed. But for me, it's movies. Dang, what else? I would like for it to be drawing and painting, but last couple of weeks I've been busy since I've been packing and moving and stuff. But inshallah soon it's gonna be packing. Painting and drawing and reading a little bit more. But right now it's movies. I love my movies.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, go ahead.
Do you have a favorite movie?
Of all time is Monsters Inc. But at the moment, I don't know what's a really good movie that I've seen. Um, Dang, I don't know. I don't have a favorite right now. But over like of all time, Monsters Inc. because I used to watch it all the time at my grandmother's house, and it's just a great movie. Right? That's all. That's all I can say about that. It's just good.
Sister Faith?
Yes, ma'am. My follow-up question was, are there any things you'd like to try to incorporate into your life as a self-care regimen? And you mentioned painting and drawing. Is there anything else that you would like to incorporate as your self-care or for your self-care regimen aside from the painting and drawing before bed?
Meditation and reflecting on the day. I used to do that all the time. Again, when I was like 16 or 17. I was still blows my mind. I was actually doing this stuff. I think I got it from Naturally Beautiful, actually, on that journey of building my confidence, finding out who I was. I used to affirm at least for 5 minutes before I went to bed. I used to be like, I am strong, I am beautiful, I am Amazing. I am a God. I'm strong. I'm beautiful. I'm amazing. I used to do that all the time, every night before I went to bed. So I would love to get back and doing that. Man, confidence was through this roof. But meditation, reflecting on the day, realizing, going over my actions, whether or not I was being a positive person or was I focusing on the negative. I think I actually got this from the minister. Somebody said that the minister does this before he goes to sleep. He reflects on the day and he files away um, anything that negative, anything that he doesn't need in the moment or for the next day. He files it away in his brain, in his mind, and he keeps what he's going to need. And I used to do that in my own kind of way, and it actually helped. So just mental stuff like meditation, all of that stuff, I like to get back into my mind because I love it. That workshop is amazing. So
Yes, ma'am. Praise be to Allah. That's beautiful. So there's this book that I want to recommend to you. It's called The Mastery of Self by Don Miguel Ruiz Jr. And I think just based on what you said about getting into your mind and things like that, I think because he does have some activities in that book, so I think that'd be a book that you would enjoy reading. So yeah, if I can gift that to you, I'll get your information at the end of our podcast because I want to give you that book. I think you'll like it.
oh yes, ma'am. I love learning about the brain. Praise be to Allah.
Sister Faith sends pages from that book, and whenever she sends it's like I needed that. So, I think you'll enjoy that book. Um, is is there anything else that you would like to share or speak on?
Um, I don't know. I guess to anyone who's listening, to just be themselves, no matter what anyone says, no matter what anyone thinks. Allah God made you the way that you are for a reason. And a lot of times, everything we go through is not for us, but it's for someone else, who may go into the same things and it helps them overcome it. So get out of your own head and just let Allah in. Accept your own and be yourself. So I guess that's all I can say right now.
Yes, ma'am. What would you tell the younger you? I know you're still young, but I feel like just with the fact that you have done a lot of things that adults tell their children to do, or or like you've done a lot of things that adults wanted to do for themselves. And I don't mean adults, I mean like seasoned folks wanted to do for themselves. So what would you tell the younger you? Um, yeah.
Dang, that depends. Like child me, like before 10 years old, or teenage me, it don't matter. Just
Wherever
me.
you want to take it.
I don't know.
Even if you want to take from 10 years old to
Well, I like to, like me 10 and younger, I was pretty much how I am now. Only I'm wiser now. And I'm actually happy because I brought that girl back and she was, missed her. But teenage me, hormonal, mind developing me, um, dang, what did I say? Positive advice. You don't really need dang, I don't know what I say. I never got asked this question before. I don't know. I gotta think on this because 16-year-old me was good. We had fun. Oh, stop relying and depending so heavily on people. The only relationship that really matters is the relationship you have with God and yourself.
Mhm.
Yourself, really, that's something I really needed. Um, I always found joy in other people, and like when that person wasn't around, or if I wasn't spending time with them, speaking to them, I'm sad again or whatever. So just understanding that you the relationship with yourself and the relationship with God is most important, and it will take you wherever you need to go for the rest of your life.
yes,
No other relationship would do
that's right. So you know what to say.
I do. I just doubt myself. Well, I used to. Now I'm just starting to just talk and let it be. I don't care anymore.
Yes, ma'am. Sister Faith, did you want to ask her anything else or share anything else?
I don't. Your last comment though, I think that's, even though that's something that you would say to your younger self, I think that's something that a lot of people need to hear. Because we sometimes put our self worth into other people, and with you saying that, to stop relying on relationships with other people, pretty much like for your own, for your joy and happiness, and rely on the relationship that you have with yourself. That is so imperative for, sorry, for growth, and just, man, just truly being happy with yourself. So that's some really good advice, to give to anyone, I would say. But I just love your energy, sis. You just brightened up my day. I got to tell you, I know I've been saying it, but I just love the energy that you came with, and it's just so positive, everything about you, and I'm just loving it. That's it. That's it.
All praises due to Allah. I think I'm really starting to come into my name every day that I speak with people, and that is the light. And yeah, that's all I want to say.
Yes, ma'am. Something the in the last response that you gave, you also said that I'm not gonna say it verbatim, but you said something about basically that you're getting back to the girl in you. And just to add to what Sister Faith was saying about that's something everybody needs to hear. I also think that everybody needs to allow the inner child in them to shine through. So thank you for sharing. I enjoy your beautiful spirit and look forward to seeing more growth from you. Congratulations on everything you've done so far. And thank you for being our first guest of 2021. If there's nothing else, may you have a peaceful evening. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Thanks for having me.
Praise be to Allah.